Today we're going to talk about The Magician King by Lev Grossman, the sequel to The Magicians. Here's an annotation that will take you to my review of The Magicians. And a very important note before we get started. There's just no way to review this book without completely spoiling The Magicians, so if you have not read The Magicians yet, you need to go. Seriously, I'm going to spoil the hell out of you. So yeah, go watch my Magicians review, go read that, and then you can come back here. So this was kind of an intense reading experience. So I actually finished this book several days ago, and I'm, only reviewing it now because I wanted a chance to process, and I don't know that I have. We're gonna see how this goes. So when we last left our heroes, which I'm sure you know because you've read The Magician, seriously, I'm not kidding, I'm gonna spoil it so bad. Elliot, Janet, and Julia had crashed through Quentin's office window and took him away to be kings and queens of the magical land of Fillory. So when this book opens, the four of them have been the rulers of Fillory for quite some time now, and Quentin is starting to feel a little bored and dissatisfied, and honestly, I think he's having a small existential crisis. So when the four of them realize that the Outer Islands have not been paying their taxes for the last couple of years, Quentin sees this as an opportunity to go on a quest. So he and Julia get on a ship and head towards the islands at the easternmost edge of Fillory, and the action pretty much starts from there. So while The Magicians was a take on the magical boarding school slash adventure in a magical land sort of thing, this one is more of a take on the quest. Actually, I read an interview with Lev Grossman right before this came out that said if The Magicians was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Magician King was The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think The Voyage of the Dawn Treader is the best Narnia book. So I really liked this book. I was actually kind of nervous right before starting a book, the way I always am with sequels to books that I really, really loved, because I was worried it wasn't going to meet up to my expectations. But oh god, after about 10 pages, I had just settled right back into the world, and it was like wrapping myself up in a blanket. Compared to The Magicians, well, it's hard because I feel like this is sort of objectively a better book than The Magicians, but I had a much more visceral, emotional reaction to The Magicians. So I think my personal preference is for The Magicians, but I think that this is a better book, if that makes sense. And I think if you liked The Magicians, but you were a little iffy, this book you will really like. If you didn't care for Quentin, I think your opinion of him will improve with this one. I mean, he's still kind of a douche, but he's maturing, I think. Honestly, if Quentin were kind of a douche, he wouldn't really be Quentin. So yes, writing, still gorgeous, jokes, still funny. Also, one of the things that I forgot to mention for The Magicians, and is also true for this book, is that Lev Grossman's plots are really well constructed. I often have no idea where he's going, and I'm very often surprised by the turns that the story takes, but it always makes sense, which is exactly the sort of thing that I want from a plot. So, also another thing that is true for both of these books, but which I didn't talk about in my review for The Magicians, not because I forgot, but because it was kind of spoilery, was what a fantastical magical world Fillory is. Fillory is so well realized and so inventive. Everything about it is just really creative. The thing I really liked about this book was that it took a bunch of stuff from The Magicians and expanded upon it. In this book, we get to hear Julia's story, which is amazing. I would say 1/2 to 1/3 of this book was about Julia and what she was doing during the events of The Magicians. And it's great. That's another reason why, if you're not fond of Quentin, you might like this book slightly more. Because it's a little less focused on him. So yes, in conclusion, positive feelings all around about The Magician King. I think if you loved The Magicians, you will also love this, and I think if you were slightly iffy about The Magicians, you will also love this. If you hated The Magicians, you will probably not like this, but, I think you already know that. If the publishing time between the first book and the second book is any indication, then the last book in this trilogy isn't going to come out until 2013, and oh, I don't want to wait that long. Lev Grossman and Viking, I love you. Please send me an advanced reader's copy for the third book when the time comes. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you have also read this, I would love to know what you thought in the comments below, because I am always in favor of having more people to nerd out about this series with. And I will see you soon!